All right, dudes, welcome on in. Thank you again for joining us. See Ball, Get Ball. Brent Rollins with me like always. And Brent, it's that time of the week, man. We've done all the talking. We've talked to people. We've read all we can read. We've watched tape. And now every week we're going to do it, man. We're going to try to make some picks. Brent's going to bring up the weather and the stats and all the good stuff. Did you overanalyze any game this week? Did you have any that you went back and forth and you were torn up on?
I mean, not really. I do think the spreads, though, it's interesting to see some of the spreads because if you look at that, it's an unknown, and we see a lot of close spreads, like even the big game of the week and things like that. So, but no, I didn't really overanalyze anything too much. I just kind of looked because we don't really know a lot, really, especially like one of the bigger games of the weekend. Like Missouri played Central Arkansas in week 1. Like Kansas played Wagner, by the way, and I was the special. I had to grade that game for PFF. That was, I mean,
how'd they do in the grade?
I mean, it was the special teams were a struggle on the Wagner side. I'll say that. It was.
Yeah, so Brent works for PFF, Pro Football Focus, so he'll chart all of this stuff and this data that we talk about a lot of the times. He's responsible for some of that stuff, but. Where are we going to first, and how are we going to do this? Because I saw the text message feed between you and Wes, and we had something literally cooking, some kind of something grooving with the picks here.
Well, I was trying to think of just ways to group the games and have a little fun with it. So obviously it's college football, so we're thinking like tailgate theme.
All right.
So Wes and I kind of back and forth, and Wes I think really drove home a good theme. So the first one is the nugget platter. It's the main game. It's the game that we all sort of love to see. And I think for you specifically, that's a go-to that you will always actually partake in.
Yeah.
Like if Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets are at the tailgate, you're going to grab a few, I think. So
yes, I'm going to grab a few, and I'm going to get the crispy ones. They're the best ones. Those little tiny crispy ones are so good.
Yes. So that's the main game of the week, the nugget platter. Everybody's going to watch that one. So that's Michigan, Oklahoma.
Okay. All right, so that's what we're starting with. We're going to pick there.
That's where we're starting.
I don't think there's very few games that I looked at, Brent, this week that I had to pick immediately, and I thought it was a no-brainer. Like very few. When you look at OU, we talked about Mateer, and we just talked about like the way he's revitalized this offense immediately and made it better. Are there still question marks? Sure. But both these teams, interesting coming in because a losing season for Oklahoma, which was disappointing, and then 5 losses for Michigan. That was like the last 3 years combined. They've been so good and so dominant since winning a national championship. So they've been really, really good. Here's what I'll say about this game. Here's what I don't like for Michigan. I'm going to tell you what I don't like first. You're going to play at Oklahoma. That is not fun. Fans will be loud. Fans will be rowdy. Fans will be crazy. You're playing against one of the best defensive minds in all of college football. Like, I don't have to explain on here how many times I've explained about how awesome Brent Venables is, how aggressive he is, how creative he is. If you watch their defense, a lot of times they're going to sit there and hold their calls to the very last second because they want to be right. Like, they want to be sound. They don't want to give things away. I think it's an extremely tough spot to be in as a freshman. I know Bryce Underwood's good. I've seen enough to say that I know he's going to be great. But in this first start, you saw Arch Manning really, really struggle. I think Bryce Underwood could have some of that on the road with the communication. I think Oklahoma gets up early, like a quick, 10-point lead, 14-point lead. I think Michigan fights their way back into the football game. I think it's close, but I got 27-21 Oklahoma.
I think that's a great score pick. Because
thank you. Appreciate that, sir.
In terms of, and especially how the game's going to go, the only thing for me with Oklahoma, and just at a sort of macro level, true freshman on the road, crazy environment.
Yeah.
Like after what we saw last weekend, I'm leaning. I'd be a big lean Oklahoma and would pick Oklahoma in the game. But watching them try to run the ball against Illinois State,
it wasn't good.
Wasn't great. And, Venables talked about you're going to see Jaden Ott a lot more this week. He had 1 carry in the game last week. So that's
banged up or getting punished, one of the two.
Yeah, that's a great I think the latter probably is one that you might have to assume a little bit, but it's one where if they do enough of that, I like what they have the rest offensively. I like Mateer making plays, and I would go with Oklahoma as well, probably like a 28-20, 28 even
Can I
22, 23, something like that.
Okay, can I give you something that when I watched the Michigan game back that I thought was unbelievable, and I don't know that I've heard people talk about yet, Brent?
Okay.
Justice Haynes. This dude, he might end up being a guy that you go on Saturday. Like when you watch this game, you're like, where the heck did that guy come from? Like, why is that guy not talked about more? Because he looked like a baller week one, and he looks physical, and he's got the speed, he's got the ability, to break tackles, to run away from you. Man, I liked what I saw from him. I didn't think they were, elite up front by any stretch, but he was. Like he was really, really good last week. So remember 22, Justice Haynes, like he could make this easy for Bryce Underwood, easier for Bryce Underwood than it is for John Mateer. And if that happens, Michigan can win the game. Like that could be the trump card to even the scales.
Second game of his career, by the way, that was one of my notes that he had 10 plus carries, only the second game. And he's
he looked
highly recruited running back.
Fantastic. The son of Ron Haynes.
Yes. Georgia legend. Yeah, I'll say. So next sort of category of games, the heartburn games. Look good. You enjoy them, but you might have some indigestion because it's going to go down the wire, be close, and be a little frustrating. I asked a friend of the program, get you some Coney Gold's James Argo for some great tailgate heartburn things, and he went with jalapeno poppers.
Okay.
Some chili.
It's not surprising that me and you both don't really know what would cause heartburn at a tailgate because we wouldn't eat it. But
yeah, I mean, habanero wings was another example. So that was one that he got. So we've got, I think, 3 games in this realm, and to me, the second biggest game of the weekend, Kansas at Missouri.
Ooh,
and
the border war, baby.
The border war, and one that it's interesting to read. I think Pabula was talking about how he didn't realize what a rivalry and what a thing it was between those two teams.
Well, in fairness, they haven't played since 2012.
Right.
So this is what happens, right? You want expansion, you like the growing of college football. They haven't played since Missouri joined the SEC. Like that's what happens. Like naturally, those rivalries kind of dissipate. But what do you know about this matchup? That's my question, Brent. What do you know about Kansas, or what do you know about Missouri coming to this football game? 100% you know about.
I know that Jalen Daniels is really good with their misdirection offense and the play action passing game. Because by the way, I'll go throw some numbers at you for that. On play action, which by the way is about half their plays because of the way they run multiple backs in there, very sort of old school Rich Rod type stuff. But he's 25 of 26 with a drop. 5 touchdowns on play action, i.e. perfect on his end.
I'm not good at math, but that seems like really good. Like if you're 25 of 26.
Yeah,
I mean,
with a drop, 100% adjusted completion. So, I know that. And Henderson and Pickett, the Ball State transfer, playmakers for Kansas. So good 1-2 punch for them. Missouri, you kind of you know the players, but you don't necessarily know what they have in this moment. But they are a 6.5-point favorite at home.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the I know that. And Jalen is and we talked about him week one, man. Like we came right out the gates, and we're going to continue to. He's so good. Like, and this offense is so good. Can the Missouri's edge play, which I think is pretty good, can they limit this? Like, can they hit him? Because he's going to get hit, man. Like, he's going to get hit. That's part of his game. And so Missouri, Bo Pabula, you've got all those beautiful numbers for me, Brent. And here's what I'll say. You didn't say Bo Pabula was going to be good for a reason, because it's a small sample size within a very contained experiment. And this is where me and the numbers disagree, and we want to have a fight. Like, you can give me all these numbers about how he's been great. He's been asked to do things in spot duty for the majority of his career. Now he's going to be asked, because of the injury, because now the quarterback spot is there is no competition anymore. It's his. He's going to be asked to carry the day. And I know he's going to make plays with his feet. I know he's going to break tackles. I know he's going to be a talented guy that's going to run hard. But to me, it's about the other guys around him and the weapons for Kansas. I think the weapons. Now, Ahmad Hardy's a baller. Like, that's why he's on my fantasy team. That's why he's like going to be there firmly for Missouri. Missouri, Can they run the football the whole game? Can they ground and pound? Because they're good at it, man. Like, they're really good at it. That's what they do. Can Kansas hold up to that? I went back and forth. I went Kansas 31-27. At Missouri, you shouldn't do that. Like, you should take the home team if you think it's going to be really, really close. Think it's going to be a great game, but man, I love watching Jalen Daniels, and I think it's the others too this is what's different to me. I watch Williams, and I watch Highshaw, and I watch Daniels. Like, they've got speed, man. Like, it's not just him. It doesn't have to just be him. It's going to be tough to defend. It's going to be high scoring. I wouldn't be surprised by either way. But give me Rock Chalk Jayhawk and all that new money, 31-27.
I'm going Missouri, by the way.
And you should go Missouri.
Well, here's the thing. Their kicker is out for the year. I don't know if you saw that. Yes, Blake Craig tore his ACL.
It was big time news. I was really dialed into that.
But I feel like this is going to be one where the new kicker, who's never attempted a kick, comes in and just wins it, and he's like a hero instantaneously for them. Robbie Meyer, by the way, is his name.
I've never hoped you were so wrong in your life that you just went kicker to decide a game. You deserve to lose. Like, you absolutely deserve to lose this now, because you mentioned two kickers. No, like, if y'all don't know, and I know this is going to be new news for some people, and we appreciate all the new growth we've had because it's been awesome. Like, I can't stand that we play a game of football that is so manly and so gladiator and so physical, and then it gets decided sometimes by the little guys that play soccer. Like, it's the guys that never practice. They sit on the side. They never hit anybody. They're not asked to do anything hard. Like, it just bothers me. So, I can't believe you just said that it's going to be the backup kicker that's going to get this done. But we'll see. That's a good one we disagree on.
Positive irony. But yeah. By the way, Damon Wilson and Josiah Trotter, two transfers for them, Georgia, and then from West Virginia.
Yeah, edge players.
Impact in week one. Trotter led them in tackles. Wilson had 2 sacks.
I know where you're going next, 100%, because I know we're going to have a disagreement because your playoff team is going to be right here in the mix next. That's my guess.
So this is also a heartburn game. It's a 3.5-point spread, and Illinois is the road favorite at Duke.
Yep, I figured you were going here. Go ahead, sell me, big fella. Sell me on the highly ranked Illini. Brett Bielema, former guest of the show not too long ago. We appreciate you, big man.
We talked about Gabe Akis. He was one of the highest graded players in the country.
Dude's a baller, an absolute game wrecker.
We talked about how Illinois has a veteran team, and if you want a veteran team early, that's a good thing to have versus a team maybe breaking in a new QB. But obviously Mensa did things. The biggest thing for me with this is Duke missed 17 tackles and was almost at the bottom of the Power 5 in tackling grade against Elon.
Oof.
That's not going to bode well against Illinois' physical style.
Elon's got that speed, baby.
So
17-4-3 guys.
I feel like the physical nature of Illinois, which, by the way, offsets some humongous plays from Mensa in that first game. He was dropping some serious dimes, one of the highest passing grades in the country that week. But no, I think the physical play of Illinois, veteran, Altmaier making plays, them running the football, they get it done, get about a 3 or 4 point victory on the road.
You're right. They are physical. I like watching Illinois because they play a ton of man and a ton of here's what I love, Brent. I love it because they'll play with 5 defensive linemen and have no problem with it. Like that's fantastic to me. Like they're all about the big boys. I'm all about the big boys. Akis is a game wrecker. We're gonna disagree here. It's at Duke. I like what I've seen from Duke so far. And here's another thing too. When you watch Altmaier, he's a really good football player. And if they get the running game going, it's really hard. And you like you said with broken tackles, I think he'll function. And he's cool hand Luke, dude. He is so good, so efficient. And if it comes down to the last moment, I believe in that cat. I really do. He's that good, man. He did it last year, time and time again. Big moments, he stepped up and made plays. I could not been more impressed with Minshew than I was week 1. That dude went 27-34. He threw for almost 400. 3 TDs. He's throwing to a Harvard wide receiver, for God's sakes.
Cooper Barkate.
Yeah, I'm
had 1,100 yards at Harvard last year, by the way.
Well, he's on pace now to break that because he had 5 for 117.
Yep.
I think when I look at this matchup, I think I love Manny Diaz. I love his pressures. I love his ability to mix things up. I think they can muck it up. I think this could be a low-scoring football game. I'm going to take the home team because that's what you should do. That's why I should have taken Missouri when you go back. But I'll take 24-20 Dukies. My wife had surgery at Duke. I am forever a Duke fan the rest of my life, probably in all aspects, because they helped save my wife's life. So I'm all in on the Dukies all the time. And my wife just sits there and does the hand signal. It's hilarious. Like, she absolutely loves it. Give me the Dukies 24-20.
How can you go against that squad? In that case, you should probably never pick against Duke ever again.
You ain't lying.
Next one, in terms of rivalries, that's, I think, also going to be a heartburn game / who can get to 20 points game. That would be Iowa at Iowa State. Last year it was Iowa State first getting to 20, winning 20-19. And by the way, in terms of watching, I went and watched Iowa because we talked about Gronowski and what he possibly could bring. And if he gives them something element to the QB position, it was not good.
It was very ungood.
Oh,
now,
he
talked about being nervous.
He looked it beyond a shadow of a doubt.
I think the most disturbing part was, like, I was really excited to read one of the articles I read about from the Iowa papers, and it was like Coach Ferentz compares his new quarterback Gronowski to a famous player, and I was like, oh, this is very interesting to me. Who do you think? And it was like, I think it was Drew Tate, like a former Iowa quarterback. Like, I was like, oh, well, it's not really what I was.
A bit of a let down.
I was like excited, and I'm like, if you compare him to another Iowa quarterback, period, like, I'm out. Like, I'm not excited because there hasn't been a lot at that. That's why that's why the expectations are high. That's why people are excited about Iowa, to think something would change. They're down Vanderzee, I think, too. Moulton's hurt at running back. They've already got some injuries. He got hurt after his third carry. Now, Xavier Williams came in, and he looked like a dude now.
Yeah, redshirt freshman.
Yes, he looked like an absolute stud. But I know Iowa State, after watching the Big Citrus, Dominic Orange, week one, like, they're going to stop the run. They're going to play physical. And the clear advantage to me is at quarterback. Rocco Beck, all the experience. Like, I think it's going to be so fun to watch this game, because this is literally going to be a flashback to, like, 1970, because both squads are going to have two tight ends on the field almost the whole game. You're probably going to see some fullbacks. Like, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I got the Cyclones, man. Hard to bet against Rocco Beck. So I got Cyclones at home 24-17.
Yeah, I don't even know. I almost think you could repeat the score from last year, 20-19, and make that as a pick. But Iowa State as well. When you talk about Beck, big time leap. First career game over 90 PFF grade last week granted it was against South Dakota, but you play some of those along the way as well.
Iowa won the first half last year. Iowa State just commandingly won the second half. So Cy-Hawk Trophy goes to the Cyclones this year for me. Where are we going next?
So this might be your favorite grouping, by the way.
Okay.
This is the veggie tray.
Yes, sir.
These are the games that you might like not watch as much, but are going to be really good for you.
Well, why would you not watch them? That is foreign to me. That's about like going to a tailgate and not eating the cauliflower, broccoli, and carrots. Like, that's the best part of the tailgate usually.
I'm sure. What percentage of the viewing public just disagreed with you?
You literally get to chew on all of that stuff and not get any calories. Like, how is that not winning? That's all I look at. Like, I'm eating that first because then it keeps me from eating the bad stuff.
All right. Whatever you say,
Okay.
that's you. But anyway, Baylor at SMU. First time in 9 years. They've played like 80, I think it was 80 times now. This is the 81st time in the history that they played, but this is the first time that they played in 9 years, in a big time game for me for SMU because of what their schedule looks like.
Well, who you got, brother? I want to hear it.
I'm actually going with SMU at home.
Oh,
because here comes another running quarterback that Baylor just had infinite problems with, and Kevin Jennings and making plays, Romello Brinson making plays for them. They got a lot of by the way, if you watch SMU's defense, a lot of single-digit numbers that are making plays for them, especially along the defensive line. Robertson, number 9, Imba, big guy, 6.
Imba.
So as tackling issues for Baylor last week,
All right.
I think I'm going SMU at home.
See, this is what we do. This is what people do every time. They look at certain types of games and they go, okay, well, they struggled to stop the quarterback run, so they're going to struggle to stop the quarterback run this week. Jackson Arnold is not Kevin Jennings. Kevin Jennings is not Jackson Arnold. Now, you can debate which one you'd rather want. Jackson Arnold is a physical runner. He broke tackles. Like, I think the physicalness of Auburn up front won. I don't see that for SMU. I don't see the trenches being elite, the offensive line like being able to push people around. So that's why I think this game is a little bit different. I think Sawyer Robinson has to run the football more. I don't think he had a design run against Auburn, which I don't understand.
No.
Like, he's got to run the football. We talked about the Pendergrass injury. Well, the Knighton kid came in and looked pretty good early. Like, that kid can fly. So, Washington, Knighton, the speed combo, rebuilt defensive line for SMU that did look good. But you know me, bro. I'm a Bears fan. I think the Bears bounce back. 31-30. Bears go on the road. They get it done. They make enough plays. They look better offensively this week because they're not playing Auburn, because they can win some matchups out wide at the cornerback spot. So give me Sikkim.
There we go. Next one, Arizona State at Mississippi State.
I mean, come on now. Like,
how much cowbell do you need?
We're going to need more. Going to need more. The most disappointing thing about this game a year ago, like, everybody looked at the score and I think they felt, some kind of way with, I think they thought it might have been closer, but this game was like 30 to nothing, or 30 to a little, like a lot to a little most of the game. And then Arizona State like kind of gave up some yards, but I'll never forget Cam Scatterbo just putting bugs on his windshield driving down the highway. Just goosh, 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 just slapping Mississippi State around. They better be ticked off. They better be upset about that. That better be something they want to change. But it was not pretty. It was ugly. I think that when you look at Arizona State, the quarterback advantage is so big. He's so good. You saw Levitt last week. He rushed for almost 100, and it's effortless. It's easy. Shapen on the other side, like, he needs the run game. Like, they've got to do a better job of being more physical. They couldn't do it. They had Brent. They almost got outrushed last year by 300 yards in this football game. I didn't say 50. I didn't say 100. It was 350 to 61 in this football game last year. Like, that's embarrassing. And I don't think I'm interested to watch Arizona State without Scatterbo and what it looks like with Kyson, with Udo, like how it becomes. But I do know I got Levitt and his wheels and his ability to make plays. So they're going to win, but I do think this game will be a little bit closer. I got Arizona State 31-21.
Yeah, it's a 6.5 point spread, so it's not like it's a.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, wow. What
Arizona
was it last
State
year? Because it was probably the final score was closer than
Because with what Arizona State was. In the interest of time, we'll go to the next one. Okay. By the way, I agree with that one. I do think Arizona State's going to win. Vandy at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is a 1.5 point home favorite.
So here's what I did. On my predictions I was going through, I wrote down scores on all of them. And on this one, I wrote down 27-24, except I didn't pick a winner because I hadn't decided yet on where I wanted to go. Last year, this was an awesome game. It was a really good football game. And I think this kind of got Vandy started last year, and because they won a close one late in the ball game when they needed to. But everything, this is the problem. When you have data of Virginia Tech a week ago and you watched them against a really good team, it clouds your judgment. And you're like, they suck. Like, Kyron Drones is terrible. Well, South Carolina's a good team. And so I think Drones naturally won't be that bad. Vanderbilt's defense is not very good typically. And we're going on like 15 years, not like every year, not like a once in a year flash in the pan. Like, it's consistent. So Virginia Tech at home, that atmosphere, give me the Hokies 27-24, I guess. But Drones plays better, runs the football, makes plays. They're used to the Pavia running game this time as opposed to last year.
I'll go Pavia again.
You should.
Just because I want there to be a non-zero chance that Vanderbilt makes the play.
That's right, because you did say that.
All right. Last two, we'll get to them kind of quickly. This one's kind of the chips and dip a little bit. That just it's always there on the side.
Okay.
You're fired up to kind of dig into it, but it's not really necessarily a marquee game. One that is very interesting. First one, Ole Miss at Kentucky. I watched Austin Simmons, and there's not a throw that he won't try to make. Is probably my biggest takeaway from that game. And by the way, if you could guess who the highest graded defender for Ole Miss was in their opening game, who might it be? Because it's a name you mentioned earlier in the offseason.
The big boy.
A couple weeks ago.
Is it my big boy in the middle?
Yep, Xavier Harris, 90.5 grade.
That dude is a man child, like
yep,
enormous mountain of a man.
Little revenge game, by the way, too.
That's what I was going to say. Big time revenge game. Kentucky somehow beat them last year. It was like 4th and something in their own territory, remember? And they threw it to
Vanderbilt, chucked one.
To Brown, I think, wasn't it? And it went the distance. Okay. Ole Miss has the speed advantage. It ain't even close. Ole Miss has the talent advantage. Here's what I like from Kentucky week 1. It was not their offense. It was not Calzada. That was not what I liked, to be very clear and very upfront. Now, their defensive line ain't that bad. And I'm interested to watch their front. Mark Stoops always has tough guys. Yep. He always finds diamonds in the roughs. So Ole Miss and the offensive line, last year they could not knock them up front, didn't do a great job. Can you block those guys up front that will be pretty good? Like the David Gustos of the world. Like they've got some dudes up there with Kentucky that will make life hard for Simmons, that will get to the quarterback. And what I saw from Ole Miss was the interior of the offensive line and the offensive line, period. I don't see a lot of push. I didn't see a lot of great.
No.
Like, are they going to be good enough to protect Simmons? I got 24-13 in the revenge game. Give me the hotty-toddy. You're taking hotty-toddy too. You ain't picking Kentucky again, but I do think it could be somewhat close.
A lot of quick pressure that they actually allowed, especially early in the game against Georgia State. Another Florida battle, USF at Florida. This feels like kind of like the ultimate trap game because of what's coming up on Florida's schedule.
Good Lord.
Because you've got LSU, Miami, and Texas. Just those
back
games.
to back to back. And then A&M, I think, right?
Yes, and then A&M.
So that's just really fun. But here's the thing. This game could have been a trap game to me if USF didn't do what they just did. Like, I think it helps Florida be like, it helps coach now go, hey, like, do you see this? Like, did you see what they just did to a top 25 team because they were ranked in the top 25? So I think it helps them. You get to turn on the tape and you get to watch the spacing, the speed. Like Byron Brown can win a game by himself, like at QB. I mean, if you watch him, they space it so much, and he is a big physical quarterback that can get downhill and be a problem. So now we're going to find out if they can block him. But it's all about, to me, can Brown put on that Superman cape and lead them? Because the talent is clearly Florida. Every way, 7 ways to Sunday. But the offense, can it be a pain in Florida's butt? Can they let him hang around? Can you take away the deep ball from DJ lag bombs away? I mean, he just drops bombs. That's what he does. Like, he continues going to give up or to take shots. And South Florida gave up a lot of big plays against Boise and Mad Dog at quarterback. So this is not Mad Dog. This is a different caliber. So I think it's 34-21. I do give USF some staying around power and some scoring power because they're QB, but I'm taking the Gators.
It's a 17.5 point number. And by the way, you went full Berman there. That was actually beautiful by you. DJ lag bombs away. You might want to like trademark that one. That's pretty good. I agree. I actually think the Gators, because of what they did, because of what USF did last week.
Yep.
I think they are dialed in and roll because it's going to get really tough.
You get people's attention, which is good because a lot of times when you catch people sleeping is when you can have success. So, all right, let's get
last but not least. Last but not least.
Oh,
we got one last little category. The cooler game. The one that'll be on ice, the earliest.
Oh.
Oklahoma State at Oregon. I think that one's that one's going to be.
There's not enough in the budget for Oklahoma State to be competitive. So, yeah, I like that's a good one, by the way. That's a really good one. Cooler game on ice. All right, so that's the picks this week. Let's get to the man who had the biggest say and probably the biggest upset in week 1 with Gus Malzahn. Let's talk to the Gus Bus.